Hello and welcome back. We are now back to step three of the producing custom report using Moodle DML API and chart.js. We'll be going further to do with chart API. So if you're joining us for the first time via YouTube channel, then yes, welcome. You will have about 3 other videos on this particular Moodle DML API and chart.js to catch up on, and then you will now be on step three, which we are going to start today, and this will be specifically the video 5.4. So we sorry, 5.5. We've already done 5.4. Now we're doing 5.5. Just to catch up, let me take you back to where we were the last time, or at least so you know exactly where we. Let me log back in, so you know exactly what the plan is and where we are in the plan. So the plan is number one, Moodle beta code, copyright package declaration, setting up page and fetching data, which we've already done. I'll show you a bit. Let me just show you now. So we got it right there. So okay, so we got that. We got that all set up in here. So that's all of that, the meta code, and then fetching data, setting up the connection database, and the page, setting up the page with this ones here, and then fetching the data, which is this one here. We'll fetching the data, and then getting the unique records, categorizing scores and sorting scores, which we've done here. Okay, which we've done here up to here, and then table data and chart function, which we've done here up to we have an error here which we're going to sort out up to there. So now what we're going to do is display data in tab using inline.js and tabs.js. So that's where we are, or that's where we're aiming to be at. So we've done that. So displaying the table data in charts and chart in tabs. Okay, so so we've done all of this. Step A, done step A, done step B, and we've done all of this, which is although we have an error here which we're gonna have to sort out by going through the existing code which we sorted out, and then we display data in tab using inline.js to tabs to call tabs.js. Okay, so there's an error there, particularly there's an error there, renderChart. Let me just have a cursory look at it to see if we can sort it out straight away. And let's see what error message it says. Syntax error, unexpected single quoted string. Expected or so we've got this here, but we've also got another file that's already working. Let's just open that one. That's the quickest way to get around it. And that will be this one here. and what we're going to do is compare both of them. So we got that one there, which VS Code allows you to do, thankfully. So let's compare, and then compare with this one. Okay, so we are comparing one DML report with DML reporting, right? So the line we were at just now, let's take this out so we've got more room. It's right there, 9144. Okay, so as you can see, oh, let's see if we put that there. Apparently there's a dot there, which is not existing here. So let's see if that helps. No, sorry. There's a dot there. There's no dot on that one. So let's remove that dot, sorry, rather. So to save, that doesn't make any difference. Oh, chart ID. Oh, come on. Got that one there. Full stop there. Is array records. Question mark. So so this is not working yet. So okay, I see where the problem is now. We have a dot there. We do not have a dot there. We have a dot here. We do not have a dot here. So what that means, we mistakenly I had a typo, and I put the dot there, and the dot should be there. So I put it there now instead, and I'm gonna save it, and hopefully that would sort the problem out. And there you go, voila. So we got that sorted now. Okay, we continue. So okay, now we got that sorted. We can close this, save it, close this, and go back to where we were. This is the DML report. We don't want that, we want this one. So we're doing DML reporting, okay? So we open this one, we open it back to where it was before, and what we're now trying to do is do the from 4a, which is display data in tabs using inline.js to call tabs.js. Okay, so this is what we do. This is the piece of code. Just copy all of it, and the reason we're doing that is to get this, to look like to get it to look like all the tabs. See the way these tabs are now. So when you click on that on the tabs change, when you click on that change. So just to get all that changing, that's what we're doing now. So when you click on each, it works accordingly. Okay. So let's go back there. So we copy that one and we just put it here. Okay. So once we got that there, let's go see how this works. Essentially, is JavaScript, which we've already covered in an earlier lesson, in the first series rather. So in the A of step 4, part of the development above, this block of PHP code dynamically generates the HTML structure for the tab interfaces navigation bar. Each button, when clicked, triggers a JavaScript function, open tab, which will then in your tab.js file handle hiding all other tab content, that is divs, and showing only the one corresponding to the click button's ID, whether best scores, worst scores, or average score. The corresponding ID will determine what will show. Okay, excuse me. Echo. So we got this one. Echo div class tab. So this line outputs an HTML div element. Class tab. This assigns a CSS named. So what this means is this echoes the div element, and the class tab. This part here. This assigns a CSS class named tab to the div. Okay, this class is typically defined in your styles.css file or a similar CSS file and would contain styles to visually format the container for the tab buttons. For instance, it might give it a background color, a border, or use flex grid to arrange the buttons dynamically. So that's what that does. Echo button class tab links on click open tab event, which is just line 162 there. And then 162, that is the continuation of it. This line outputs an HTML button element. This button represents the first tab specifically for best scores. So this tab is what opens best scores. Okay, the class tab link, this assigns a CSS class named tab links to the button. This class would contain styling rules for the tab buttons themselves, for example, padding, font size, background color, hover effects. That's what that would contain in the CSS class. Okay. Now the other one, which is on click open tab best scores. This is a crucial part. It's an inline JavaScript event handler. That means this part here is an inline JavaScript event handler, and it's very crucial because this is what will get the best scores. When this button is clicked, we will execute the JavaScript function open tab, which is this one here. If you unclick, we open the open tab. This refers to the JavaScript event object, which contains information about the click event, like the target element. Best scores. This is a string literal passed onto the second argument to open tab. This string is the ID of the content div. This should be displayed when this tab content is clicked. So we assign it here when we give it best scores right there, yeah. So and what scores, and so they are literals. So once you put it in there literally, it now becomes the ID for JavaScript pointer to which the tab content to show, which tab content to show. Okay, yes. Best scores button. This is the visible text that appears on the button. Echo button class tab links on click open tab event. This now what happened for best scores? The same thing happens for worst scores. Okay, and for average scores too. Okay. when you click on it, just like it says, it shows the associated content for average scores using JavaScript, just like before. Then you close it, which is the echo div. This closes the div element that was open in the first line, completing the container for the tab navigation buttons. So once again, this is what we're really referring to again, is just this part of it. Okay, this is how we code it, so it does all of this. Okay, so let's go back now, and then we got 4b, calling display table function which within the id tab content. So we will do that now. Okay, so now we're in the B part, 4b. Okay, the B part, 4b. So we've got this piece of code here. Let's copy all of it for want of time, so we can go through it one line by line. Essentially, if you just paste it right below there, no wait, no, it's the same code, so we don't need to post it again. We don't need to paste it again. So in the B part of the step 4 part of the developer code, this is the rendering or the populating of the tables, okay, and the headings for each of the scores. Okay, let's okay, now for the for 4b, which is calling the display table function with id tab content. Okay, so we've already done it so that we got done for a, and we've gone through for a, which is display data tab using inline.js called tab.js. The a part was to get to display the HTML, and now we're going to display we're going to, within the id tab content, we're going to make it so that the function displays the table, which of the tables we want. So in the B part of step 4, this is the rendering populating of the tables, the headings for each of these scores, the respective scores, and their charts. Okay, the first parameter of this function is the scores. So let's first of all get this code in there. Okay, the first parameter is the scores of this function is the score. Second parameter is a string for the column heading, and the third is the chart ID we assign. So the first parameter is the scores. The second one is the string which we want, and the third one is the chart ID we assign. Okay, so that has to be very clear. When we call the display table, there are parameters. We remember this is the display table right there. The parameters we're looking for, we is best scores, the string best scores, and the best scores chart ID. Okay, which we have shown you how we generate that. Okay, so we assign that. Note, this is how the chart ID will be declared. Here works dynamically with the code. The chart ID, e.g. best scores chart, is a string literal that you define and pass directly when you call display table in your index.php. This string then travels as a parameter through display table to 1. Set the ID of the HTML canvas element. B. Be passed as an argument to the renderChart JavaScript function, which then uses that ID to locate and draw on the correct canvas element. So recall, I told you that there's a way we can actually do this without using, which is usually very straightforward. But since we are now using tabs, That means it now has to dynamically look for which of the tab we want to display it. That means there will be 3 different IDs, and this is how we get it to look for the correct ID, as opposed to using one regular ID in the normal chart.js functions. So, and this is what it's saying here. So you set the ID to the canvas, the element, canvas element, and it's passed through the renderChart JavaScript function. I took some time to really make sure I try to make this quite clear to you. And actually, I hope it even sounds clearer in writing than it does. If you hear it the first time. So the reason is you have to go over it over and over again to actually capture what it's saying. And through demonstration, you will get it. You practice it. Understand the JavaScript with tabs.js. Now we're doing 4C. Okay. Page require JS local DML report tab.js. Then echo output footer. That's the end of how we're going to display the table. In the C, display the chart, display the report really, because the table has a chart with it. In the C of step 4 part of development above, the last 2 lines of code are including. So let's copy that and put that in there first of all. Okay, got that there. The last 2 lines of code, including the tabs.js and echo in the footer, as this training course is a part of a series. Is part of a series for mastering web development, PHP, JavaScript, MySQL, CSS, and HTML. Let us investigate how tabs.js works. It's important to note that page require JS local DML report tab.js is added to the end of the file instead of the top of the file like the rest, because we don't want it to load at the beginning of the server loading the page. On the other hand, the CSS which we also needed for this is loaded at the beginning of the page, if you recall, as well as other JS files. Here is the code for tabs.js. So essentially what it does, and tabs.js is here. Tabs.js is actually, yeah, tabs.js is, okay, wait a minute, we need it in our one. So we don't have tabs.js, we need render, chart render, we need these files. So we need that one, and that one, and the styles.css. So let's just get them. Okay, copy, and then go back in here and paste them in here. So now we got them in here. No, that's not right. That's not what we wanted. What we wanted was, we need to take this out. So what we wanted is, so let's do it one by one then, since it's acting funny. So copy this one and let's put it in there. See, we've got that one. chart.js, we got that one. I'll put this one as well. So we got that one, and then we get the styles.css. Put it in there too. Okay, we got that one, and then lastly we got tabs.js, which we copy and we put it in there too. So we now got all of that in there. Okay, so what I wanted to show you is tabs.js. So we got it in there now, and here is the file, and here it is. So this is the file here: function, open tab, event, tab name. So we got all of that there. So let me just quickly explain what is. Okay, just that one, and then this is the styles.css as well, which we got here. Okay, so the styles.css is also there. So what it's doing, in a sense, these blocks shown earlier above in 4b create 3 distinct content areas. Only one of these areas will be visible at a time, controlled by the tab buttons and the JavaScript tabs.js. Okay, let's break down the final piece of code and the logic behind it, especially the placement of tabs.js. Okay, so we got this one, if you recall, as we just shown you, I think it's 4b, yeah, 4b. These blocks of code which you provided just before display table calls in your index.php are defining the content containers for each of the tabs. Echo div best calls club tab content. This outputs an HTML div element. ID best calls. This is the unique ID for the specific content div. This ID directly corresponds to your string you pass as the second argument to your open tab in your tabs button, e.g. open. We recall that one, right? So the class this assigns a CSS class named tab content to the div. This class is crucial for the styling and JavaScript functionality in your styles.css. This class would typically include display none. Okay, so if you recall, display none, this is tab content here, and it's saying display none. So this is what it's referring to. Okay. So or similar by default, meaning all tab content is hidden when the first page loads. When the page first loads. Your tabs.js JavaScript will then manipulate the class or its display property to show only when the active tabs content is clicked or shown. Display tab best calls chart inside each tab content div you are calling your display table function. This means that when a specific tab content is made visible, it will reveal the generated table and its associated charts. I hope that's very clear. Echo div. This closes the div element for the current tabs content. In essence, this block creates 3 distinct content areas. Only one of these areas will be visible at a time, controlled by the tab content and the JavaScript in tabs.js. So this, when you first load, the page requires, it contains a client-side JavaScript logic that makes your tabs interactive. So this is typical content tabs.js, but and this is how it works, just as I explained just now. The first one, this is the call function. The event object from the click, EVT is the event object from the click. The ID of the content, when it says tab name, it's looking for that best scores or worst scores that we put in, that we made string literals earlier, and then hide all content. So this is where the display none comes in, and the activate all tabs button. So when it says tab links and removes, it deselects it by making everything unavailable until the active tab makes it available. And then this is how it does that by using document element by ID tab name, and the tab name is the ID. So and then of course the display property changes to whatever we have assigned it to be, which is visible or and flex grid or block or something like that. So the click button is activated once it's the active tab, and the background and everything else shows up too. The optional default tab is the DOB content loaded listener is a common addition to automatically activate and display the first tab when the page finishes loading, so users don't see an empty content initially. So there's so much more going on there which you can read up and get to know a whole lot about. But for one of time, we have explained everything that's on there. However, if you have any questions or you need some more information, if you're in the development course already, then you join us on the discussion board forum and ask questions. It's part of the scoring mechanism in our training school. If you're not yet one of our students trainees, then all you need to do is, that means you're watching the video on YouTube and you're interested, you are commented, and you need some more thorough information, then yes, you can register on our website debonairtraining.com/lms, or send me an email and I'll register you and enroll you once you satisfy our conditions. And of course, then you'll be fully enrolled, and then you can become a developer, or for research purposes, you can get all the information you need to become what you desire. So join us in the next one. Do not forget to comment if you are watching on YouTube, and subscribe to our channel, as well as like and share this video. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you in the next one, which will be video 5.6.